3, 2, 1. The 24 hours has begun. I'm so sleepy, I can't stop yawning. 2 5 stars in a 24-hour period is crazy. I am so excited for this video. First off, I am of course going to be reading all romance books in this video in honor of Valentine's Day. And I know Valentine's Day is not for like 1 to 2 weeks when you're seeing this video, but I wanted to get it up early so you guys could get some romance book recs from me, assuming I like the books that I read in this video. I was looking up the last 24-hour readathon I did, and it was in August of 2023, which is crazy. That is so long ago. And recently I've been reading the Throne of Glass series, and because I've been so obsessed with that series, I've been flying through it. I've been reading like a book every other day. I don't know, I just feel like I'm in a reading mood. I have a feeling that I'm gonna be reading a lot of books in this video. Okay, let's get to the books that I'm considering reading in this video. The first one is Love Theoretically. I'm in the middle of this book, so I'm 100% gonna be reading it. And the way I am just so obsessed with this book so far, I'm loving it so much. And the book I think I'm currently most excited about out of all the romances I have is Butcher and Blackbird. It's a romance between 2 serial killers. Like how fun. Okay, and then the rest of the books that I'm considering, the first one is actually my this month's book of the month pick. It's called Ready or Not, and like, look at this cover. It's so fun and bright. A surprise pregnancy leads to even more life-changing revelations in this heartfelt, slow burn, friends to lovers romance. And then my second book of the month pick this month is Heartless Hunter. This is a romantasy book. Enemies to lovers doesn't get more high stakes than a witch and a witch hunter falling in love. Like, that's just a book I'm gonna be obsessed with. And then I always love the bookmark that comes with my book of the month box every single month. It says, was it something I read? Big, huge thank you to Book of the Month for sponsoring this video. If you're not familiar with Book of the Month, they are an online book subscription service. And Book of the Month just launched audiobooks, which I think is so cool. I'm a huge audiobook listener. So every single month, members can choose to get a hardcover or an audiobook. I love that Book of the Month helps to promote new and emerging authors and also has such highly anticipated reads like Love Theoretically, which is the first book I'm reading in this video. I got a while ago as a Book of the Month book. And you can get your first new release hardcover for just $9.99 with my code SMOOCH. That's such an insane price for any book ever, let alone a hardcover. I feel like a Book of the Month subscription box is the perfect thing to treat yourself with this Valentine's Day. Or honestly, you could text your significant other and be like, hey, Book of the Month, that's what I want for Valentine's Day. It's such an inexpensive gift for yourself or someone else. Okay, on to the other books that I want to read in this video. There are 2 fairy tale tellings I really want to read. Hooked is a Peter Pan retelling, and I'm pretty sure Peter Pan is the villain in this book, which is fun. And then we've got So This Is Love, which is a Cinderella retelling. I think it's just gonna be so magical and adorable. And then lastly, we've got Betting on You by Lynn Painter. I love everything by Lynn Painter, so I think it's gonna be adorable. I don't know much about it besides that it's a young adult romance involving a bet and fake dating. I'm on page 251 of Love Theoretically. Let's start our timer in 3, 2, 1. The 24 hours has begun. I just hit page 300, so I'm almost done. And I'm just loving literally every single thing about this book. Like, so much of the lines are so witty and funny. And our main character Elsie's internal dialogue, like there's some parts where I'm like literally like smiling or kind of laughing out loud. It's so cute. This book has a really interesting plot. Our main character is a professional part-time fake girlfriend, which is just such a fun setup. And what I think I'm loving the most about this book is our main character. She's so relatable in so many ways. She's a big people pleaser, which I can really relate to. But then there are also so many unique things about her, like her being a professional part-time fake girlfriend. She also has diabetes, and she's also a physics professor. So there's a lot about her that I previously, before this book, didn't know that much about. So yeah, it's just cool that she's very relatable, but I'm also learning about so many new things through her. I finished it. This is the kind of romance that makes you like kick your feet and giggle because of how cute it is, how happy it makes you feel. I'm obsessed. I also love that this book has so much depth to it. I feel like there's a lot going on outside of just the romance, like with the workplace and Elsie's own personal issues. She has a great character arc. And yeah, it just ticks all the boxes of a romance. 5 stars, 5 stars for sure. We're off to a great start in this video already with a 5-star read. And I know Hazelwood has 2 new releases coming out in 2024. and finishing this book by her just makes me extra excited for her new releases. I feel like she's been an auto-buy author for me, but I think this book really solidified that. The only book I haven't loved by her, I actually have right here, is Check and Mate. I thought it was cute, but not my favorite book ever. But I think I've given all of her adult romances like 4 to 5 stars. I'm feeling a young adult romance since we just read an adult romance, and I think I want to go with So This Is Love. I'm so intrigued by this book because on the back of the book it says, what if Cinderella never tried on the glass slipper? And in the movie, that's a huge thing, is that, you know, she tries on the glass slipper and it turns out she is the one who the prince met at the ball. So if she doesn't try on the glass slipper, how does she get back to meet the prince? Like, I just have so many questions based on that one line. So I'm very intrigued by this book, and I feel like it's gonna be adorable, magical, all the fairy tale vibes that I'm looking for right now. I just finished chapter 1, so I feel like this is the perfect time for a little first impressions check-in. It's so fun to picture in my head. It starts off with her at the ball, which I think is a really interesting place to start because obviously in like the traditional Cinderella, we see her being, you know, kind of mistreated by her stepsisters and stepmom, and then she has like the fairy godmother help her get ready for the ball, and then she goes to the ball. Like, there's so much leading up to the ball, but then in this book we start at the ball. And it just got me thinking that it's so interesting, I bet, for authors to have to decide where they want to start a book, not even just in a fairy tale retelling, like in any book, because that could just really shape the entire book if you start like in the middle of the action or with a bunch of setup, or yeah, just where in your story you choose to be the starting point. I'm on page 157, which is a bit less than halfway through the book, and it's really cute so far. I'm really liking it. Two things that I never thought of with the original Cinderella story is at midnight, all of Cinderella's, you know, her dress, her carriage, all of that, like, go away. Like, the carriage turns back to a pumpkin, but her glass slippers don't disappear. They stay in existence after midnight. And then also, when Cinderella's at the ball, she's not wearing a mask or anything. So why does the prince need to find a girl to fit the glass slipper? Why can't he just, you know, look around for the girl that he saw at the ball? That's not really relevant to this book. They're just like 2 Cinderella plot holes that had never occurred to me before. Or maybe they're not plot holes, maybe they were explained away by magic or something like that. Anyway, just Cinderella thoughts. Meal times are always the hardest part to read while I'm heating up my food and eating, so I got the audiobook of this book and listened to it while I was heating up my food and then tried to read the book while actually eating. I am on page 315 and we're currently 8.5 hours in. I'm gonna pause the timer really quick. I thought it'd be fun to recommend you guys a few romance books that I think would be really cute to read on Valentine's Day. I'll be quick so we can get back to the 24-hour readathon, but honestly, anything by Lynn Painter. She is so great at writing books that feel like you're reading a rom-com movie, and every single book I've read by her makes me like giddy and giggly. I think The Do-Over isn't my #1 favorite book by her, but it's perfect for Valentine's Day because the entire book takes place on Valentine's Day. It's a time loop book. My favorite young adult book by her is Better Than the Movies. And then my favorite new adult / adult book by her is The Love Wager. Okay, for non-Lynn Painter books, I think The Spanish Love Deception is great if you love a slow burn. The sequel, The American Roommate Experiment, this book also to me felt like I was reading a rom-com movie. Like, it's a big swoon-worthy romance. And it can be read as a standalone, so if you want to skip The Spanish Love Deception and go straight to this one, you can. And then lastly, for a little bit of a different rec, not a rom-com, but Indigo Ridge is a cowboy romance, which I really like, and I haven't really heard people talk about this series very much. I know the Chestnut Spring series is the most popular cowboy romance that I've heard of. If you've already read that series, want something similar, I'd recommend Indigo Ridge, and this first book in the series also has a murder mystery subplot, which is really fun. Anyway, those are my little Valentine's Day book recs. I'm gonna resume the timer and let's finish So This Is Love. I just finished the book. It was so cute. I think I'm gonna say 3.5 stars just because it's a little bit of a lighter romance and it felt a little bit like insta love, which isn't my personal favorite, but literally so cute. I would still recommend it. I love that it takes the traditional Cinderella story and not only adds a twist to it, but also expands upon the world of Cinderella. Like we get so much politics happening in the palace, which was really fun to read about, and some corruption as well. I would really recommend this book if you're a Disney lover, if you love fairy tales, or just want like a light, fun, feel-good read. Okay, let's pick book number 3. I am without a doubt going with Butcher and Blackbird next. Like I said, this is a romance between 2 serial killers and I'm just so intrigued. Number one, like what the tone is gonna be. Is it gonna be a dark romance? Is it gonna have more comedic relief? Also, if they're serial killers, we still have to find them likable. So why are they killing? Is it like vigilante killing? Just so many things that have piqued my interest. I love that the dedication says, for those of you who read the trigger warnings and said, accidental cannibalism, count me in. This one's for you. This one is definitely for me. Oh my gosh, there's a Spotify playlist. How incredible. I need to listen to it. Chapter 1, first impressions. I think I'm gonna love this book. I think I'm gonna absolutely love it. We start out with a gory description of a dead body, so check the trigger warnings for sure. There's a huge list of trigger warnings, but there is a lot of comic relief, so I do think it's gonna be a blend of what I was saying of like dark, gory, but also lots of jokes and fun. Another mealtime of trying to eat and read, and here's Danny watching his Formula 1 show while I read next to him. I am in chapter 10, which is just over 100 pages through the book. I've been going back and forth between the physical book and the audiobook, and I'm also gonna make a Dirty Shirley because it's a pink drink, which I think is cute in honor of Valentine's Day. But I'm loving the book so far. I'm so engrossed. It's such a unique plot because of the fact that they're serial killers, and when it started out, it was definitely more on the comedic relief side, but then there was a chapter that I listened to via audiobook, and it felt so intense in the audiobook version. Okay, Joe Arden, it says, is the audiobook narrator for Rowan's POV, and he did an amazing job. Like the emotion, I was just like, whoa. And I feel like it's rare that I don't know, really take note of the audiobook specifically. So yeah, if you're reading this book, I would recommend the physical book and the audiobook. Last step is to add a cherry. You know what, let's add 2 because I love cherries. We have gotten to the accidental cannibalism that the book mentioned in the dedication. Should I repeat that? Accidental cannibalism. This book is crazy and I'm loving it. I usually always do like a halfway point check-in at the 12-hour mark and I completely forgot. We are currently exactly 14 hours in, so 2 hours late, but let's do a little not exactly halfway check-in. So far I finished Love Theoretically, I finished So This Is Love, and I'm currently on page 182 of Butcher and Blackbird. The tiredness is definitely setting in. I've had quite a few yawns in the last like hour. It's 10:30, which is late, but not super late. I don't know what it is. Reading all day, it makes you tired. Like I'm just lounging and sitting all day. It doesn't help that I'm sitting in bed right now trying to stay awake. I'm thinking I'm gonna finish this book around 2 a.m., but we'll see. I finished the book. It was so good. I do think I'm gonna pause the timer here. It is 1:36 a.m. and we're just over 17 hours into the challenge. And pause. And with that, I think I'll see you guys in the morning and give you guys my review in the morning. And then we'll have 7 hours of reading tomorrow, which hopefully is the perfect amount of time to finish one more book. Whew. Good morning. I am so tired. I went to bed at 2 last night and then my cat Luca woke me up this morning at 8. So I'm on that 6 hours of sleep, which 6 hours of sleep isn't a lot, but it's not that small amount either. I feel like I wouldn't normally be this tired from sleeping for 6 hours. I think it's just reading that makes you tired. I don't know what it is. I am so tired. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot. Let me tell you my review of Butcher and Blackbird. I loved it so much. I think I'm gonna say 5 stars. It was so good. I think it was the perfect balance of like gory, wild, crazy plot, but also super sweet romance. Had so much depth to the characters, why they do what they do with their serial killing. And I didn't realize this is the first book in a series. It's a trilogy. The main character, Rowan, he has 2 brothers. So I believe each of the other books in the series follow each one of his brothers and like their romance plot, which has me so excited because I didn't realize that when I went into this. So I am 100% gonna read the other books. And I think the second book comes out in the summer of this year. And I'm also intrigued by the other books because I know book 2 follows Lachlan, who is a contract killer. So we're still gonna have this like fun murder element, but in different ways because these characters are serial killers, but his brothers are not. Anyway, loved this. Now, for book number 4, I feel like you guys would be most intrigued to see me read Betting on You, but because I'm so tired, the idea of starting a new book feels kind of overwhelming just because, you know, it takes you time to get into a book. So I think I'm going to read a book from a romance series that I'm in the middle of. Specifically, I really want to read Hopeless by Elsie Silver. This is the last book in the Chestnut Springs series, and I feel like because I'm already so invested in this series, so invested in these characters, I will just fly through this book and it will be so easy to get into. And this one follows Beau. He was in the military and he also was really going through it in the last book. So I have a feeling there's gonna be so much to his story and that he's probably gonna be struggling in this book, but he's kind of a character we don't know a ton about throughout this series. So I'm really excited to read his book and find out more about him. And I'm gonna resume our timer. 3, 2, 1. We've got 7 hours left today of reading. I just got to page 101 and we have not just fake dating, but a fake engagement, which makes me so excited. That's not a spoiler, by the way. It is in the summary of the book. If I were to rank my favorite tropes, number 1 would be enemies to lovers, number 2 would be fake dating. And it just occurred to me when I was reading this that I don't think I've read a fake dating trope romance in a while, which I feel like there was a period of time where I was like, fake dating, fake dating, fake dating. I was really seeking it out and I kind of forgot about this trope. So this just has me so excited. I love fake dating because obviously they have to pretend to date, so they have to like, you know, say sweet things that they don't mean, you know, they have to like be casually touching each other, physically affectionate. And then the moment when they go from fake dating to real dating is so satisfying. I'm very happy. I feel like this is waking me up because I'm really excited. I am well over halfway through the book, and reading a book in a series that you already love is so nice. It feels like coming home. Like you already know the characters, you already know you're gonna love it, you already know the setting, you're already so invested. It's just so great and I'm loving this. Beau is such a gentleman. He's so protective. I love that. And Bailey is so sweet and kind too, and she had a tough upbringing, which everyone judges her for, which makes me so sad. I just want her to be happy. She deserves everything. The other weird thing about reading like a longer series is I forget they're not real people. Part of me is like, I want to be friends with this person. I want to like hang out with these characters. And it's especially weird that this is the last book in the series. So when I finish this, I'm gonna be so sad. So like I want to finish it because I'm loving it, but I also don't want to finish it. I don't want it to be over. We are 21 hours and 43 minutes in, so I have just over 2 hours left. Honestly, not sure that I can finish the next like 200 pages in 2 hours. That would be insanely fast reading for me. But I'm gonna finish this book today no matter what, even if we have to go over the 24 hours. Just a little over an hour left. We have officially hit 24 hours. I actually hit it a little while ago, but I wasn't done with Hopeless yet, so did some extra reading because I wanted to give you guys my final review on this book. I really liked it. I think I would say 4.25 stars. It feels so bittersweet to now be done with the whole series. If I had to rank them in order from favorite to least favorite, I would say Reckless number 1, love Theo Silva, then Flawless, probably Heartless, Hopeless, and then Powerless for favorite all the way to least favorite. But I literally love all of them. And I feel like this readathon was so good. Literally had 2 5-star reads, 1 in the 4 stars, and then 1 in the 3 stars, but I really liked all of them. And hopefully you guys got lots of good romance recs to read in February, the month of love. But with that, I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm literally so tired. My brain feels just like utter mush. Like I don't want to consume TV or books or anything for at least another 24 hours. Anyway, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!